Alright, hello, welcome to another tier list video. More controversy, of course, as we rank all of the tracks in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, from hate at the bottom all the way to S tier at the top. And there are a lot of tracks in this game, so sit back, relax, and try to not get too upset if I rank your favourite tracks low. It's all my own personal opinion. Of course, you have your own personal opinions. Let me know your favourites in the comments. So then, first track, Android Alley, one of the CNK tracks. When their game first came out, I didn't really think too much about this one. I thought it was fun enough, but the more I've played the game, the more it's grown on me, and I would now happily put it in amazing. I love the little detail of the train going through the middle of the track. It's such a fun, fast and well-flowing track, and that is what I like. I like really good flowing tracks. What's up next? Actually, what is up next? I don't remember the name of this track. Hold on, wait a minute, I need to look it up. Ah, yes, this one is called Assembly Lane. I know the track, but for some reason I always forget the name of this one. So that does not bode well. I'm gonna have to say it's not for me. I don't hate it, and there are some good parts of it, but it's kind of like a mix between Tiny Arena and Engines Labs with not that much speed. You get those really annoying crushing mechanisms that get in the way. It's just not for me. It's not ever one I'm ever excited to do. So then, Barren Ruins, I think that's a pretty decent enough track. I'll happily put that in good. The only problems I have with it are the little, well not little, the massive robots that walk across the track. They can get in the way, but apart from that, it's well themed. It's a nice flowing, kind of short, nice little track. A little bit of snow, not bad at all. A track that does have a lot of snow is Blizzard Bluff. I am pretty indifferent about Blizzard Bluff. It's not one of my favourites, but I don't necessarily hate it. So I guess it will go in alright. I've never really been a big fan of the shortcuts, mostly because it's mucked up so many races where I'm comfortably in the lead, everything's going great, and then, oh no, I failed that jump, or for some reason I get a bit risky and try and go over the fence shortcut and then fall on my face. But it's a reasonably good enough track. It's just okay for me. Okay, so Clockwork Whimper, another CNK track. This one is really well themed. I love the theming of Clockwork Whimper. It looks amazing. And it does have a very neat little shortcut as well. I've got nothing really against it. I would say it's a good track. It's a very good track. Of course, I can always change my opinion and move these about at the end once I've ranked everything, depending on how many tracks are in how many different tiers. Nothing in S tier yet. Maybe I could put Coco Park in S tier. That would be really controversial. It's not going in S tier. It's a good, reasonable track, but it is basically a little oval. Nothing too special, but it's alright. I've got nothing against it, and you can have some really good fun online races because it can be very close. And I much prefer the races where they're pretty evenly matched and you don't need a huge amount of skill. A track that you do need a lot of skill for though is Cortex Castle. That will be the first track to go in S tier. It's always been one of my favourites. I love the theming. It's really fast flowing with the blue flame. There's quite a few things to avoid, and it's just all round a very good, nice flowing challenge. I always enjoy doing Cortex Castle as well. No matter how many times I've done it, I always pick it when it comes up to the vote. So then, up next is Crash Cove. Of course, the first track in the game. This one is always good fun to play online, I find. I mean, I can come 8th, I can come 5th, I can come 1st against the exact same opponents. So, I mean, people might not like that because that can end up as a bit of a lottery, and there's a lot of people that go, oh, I'm the most skillful at the game, I want to win every time. But it's not about winning, it's about having fun, and I'd rather have good battles in races, and you always get a good battle in Crash Cove. So I'd say that is a good track. I love the pirate theming as well. Now then, Deep Sea Driving. When I did my top 10 video, I believe I put this at number 2. So you'd think I'd be putting it in S tier. However, as I've played it more and more, it's gone down in my opinion. I'm still going to say it's a good track, but yeah, the Beanox time trials have made me hate this track just a little bit more. I mean, the theming and the music is amazing, but my god, those fans at the end. Without those fans, if that was just a normal tunnel, the track would be almost perfect for me and it would be S tier. Just remove the fans and then you've got a great track. Now then, Dingo Canyon. I've never really got on with Dingo Canyon, so unfortunately that's going to go not for me. It's a bit too tight. You've got those annoying armadillos that roll across the track, and the theming doesn't exactly stand out. It's kind of based on the motorbike levels from Crash Bandicoot Warped. It's okay, but it's not really for me. I never see myself picking it out of the 3 tracks when it's the vote. Right then, Drago Mines. I'm sure a lot of people will be expecting me to put this in hate, but I actually think it's alright. I've got nothing too much against Drago Mines. Lots of people say it's the worst track in the game. Oh, it's absolutely terrible. But yes, I actually like Drago Mines more than Dingo Canyon. Hate comments, here they come. How dare you not put Drago Mines in hate? It's the worst track ever. But it's actually quite a nice flowing track. Again, the problems I have are the minecarts and the little spiral section. But apart from that, it's okay. We're gonna rock down to Electron Avenue. It's going in S tier. Of course it is. Why would Electron Avenue be in any other tier? It's an absolute amazing track. One of the longest in the game as well. Of course, you have that great big jump right at the start of the race. I remember when I first played this at, I believe it was a Comic-Con, doing that jump for the first time in Nitro Fuel was just mind-blowing. Just go, oh my god, what is going on? And the rest of the track flows so well as well. Now then, one of the hardest tracks in the game, Hot Air Skyway. I'm gonna put that in amazing. A little while ago I might put that as an S tier track, but the amount of times I've fallen off and the frustration with the time trials has made me maybe drop it down a little bit, but that's only because of my own terrible rubbish ability at the game. Apart from that, it's a really good and fun track. So then, Hyperspaceway. I'm a bit indifferent about this one. I'm gonna have to put it in alright. I mean, it's a bit short compared to the C&K version, and it can be very frustrating. You know those laser beams that go across the track where you go over the jumps, and sometimes you jump really far and then hit a laser beam, sometimes you don't jump enough and hit a laser beam. And then of course you've got the teleporters where you can hide Nitro on the other end of them. And of course at the start can be very frustrating as well. When you go over that first ramp and you get hit and fall down into that chasm, then it's basically race over. What was the point in even doing this track? It's alright though, I don't hate it, but it can be a very mixed bag when you play it online. Now then, Inferno Island, basically a copy of Crash Cove, but not quite as good as Crash Cove, so it has to go in alright. It's basically Crash Cove, but at night time. Now then, Jungle Boogie time, a very short track, and it would be so much better if it was maybe about 10 seconds a lap longer, if there was just a little extra section in there somewhere. But it's still a good, fun track. I've never really had a bad experience around Jungle Boogie. It's always good, fun, and nice and flowing. So it's going in good. Now then, another track that has grown on me is Monsieur Gorge. Again, when the game first came out, I didn't think too much about it. It wasn't that memorable. But the more I've raced on it, the more fun I have. And I almost always pick this track when it's in the votes online. Is it S tier though? Would I put Meteor Gorge in S tier? I think it's on the edge. I'm gonna put it in amazing, but it could potentially be an S tier track. I think if it was longer, it would be an S tier, but it is amazing and good fun to play. Back to the classic CTR tracks with Mystery Caves. This one is always one of my favourites as well. There's just so many good tracks in this game, it's hard to rank them. I mean, none of them so far have been in hate, but there is a few tracks that I already know will go in there. Like Mystery Caves. No, of course it's not. I already said it's a really good track. I'll go so far as to say Mystery Caves is amazing. Now, people that know me will know where Engines Labs is going to go. It's going in hate. Oh, I absolutely hate it. No, I can't even keep that up. It's my favourite track in the game. Of course it's going in S tier. It's basically the perfect CTR track. Absolutely love Engines Labs. Now then, Out of Time. I would say Out of Time is a good, decent enough track. Oxide Station is not, on the other hand. I wouldn't say I hate it, but it's not for me. It's far too tight, it's far too twisty. There's so many places where you can drop blue flame, and I don't necessarily have much of a good time when I race this online, so it's not for me. It's not one that I really pick at all very much. Papu's Pyramid. Now, your enjoyment of this track can depend on the start. It's very, very 50-50 if you get hit in that first little section. If you don't get hit, you'll probably have a great time. If you do get hit, you'll probably have a miserable experience. But I've always liked Papu's Pyramid. I'd say, is it amazing or good though? I think it's in between the both. I'd say it's good, because I do have quite a few bad experiences. So it's only just in good, but it could potentially be amazing. Now then, Polar Pass. Get straight up into S tier. Absolutely amazing track. Always enjoy Polar Pass. Prehistoric Playground. That is also a good track. I'll put that in amazing. I love the prehistoric theming and the dinosaurs, and again, it's a very good length for a track. I think about the perfect length for a track is where you get about a 40 to 45 second lap. A little bit longer can be too long, and if it's 30 seconds or less, then it's maybe a bit too short. Around about 40 seconds a lap is about perfect for me, and that is what you get in Prehistoric Playground. Now then, Retro Stadium, which is a PS4 exclusive. That is of course the version that I play, but I never do that track. Yeah, just absolutely hate Retro Stadium. And I might as well rank Turbo Track. Here's Turbo Track. I mean, it's the same track. Absolutely hate it. Who thought it was a good idea to have 3 hairpins back to back? It just breaks up the entire track. If the track was a normal kind of layout with the speed boost pads, and you had maybe 1 long hairpin, where like a good big long curve, that would have been pretty good. But no, let's put 3 hairpins back to back, and then me personally, I've never kept my blue flame throughout that entire section. I've seen people do it online during the dev times. I just can't do it myself, therefore I hate it. Now then, Ruse Tubes, probably one of my favourite themed tracks, but is maybe a little bit too short, so I will put it in good, but I absolutely love the theming of Ruse Tubes. Now then, Sewer Speedway. This was actually one of my favourite tracks on the original PS1 version. I might have even considered it my favourite, but on Nitro Fueled when the game first came out, I just didn't like it very much. First of all, the shortcut was completely broken and almost impossible to make, where you'd make it maybe 10% of the time. They have fixed it now, so it's more like 90% of the time you will make it, so long as you do everything right. But the other problem was kind of the hit detection and the invisible walls on this track, because I would lose momentum a lot. That has been fixed quite a bit as well, but I do still find it occasionally happening. So I can't put it overly high, but I do have good fun now. When the game first launched, it would have been hate, but it has now risen up to good at least. If it was like it was on PS1, it would be in S tier. Now then, another track that a lot of people probably won't like is Slide Colosseum. But unlike Turbo Track, I don't mind Slide Colosseum too much. I mean, I'm not going to say it's anything amazing or good. I'd actually put it in alright. Again, maybe I'll put Drago Mines and Slide Colosseum in alright, and I can imagine a lot of people will put them right at the bottom. But I generally find Slide Colosseum does actually flow really well, and it is really fun to drift around. The only problem is the theming is really boring, and the track can get a little bit repetitive, but I generally do find myself having a good fun time actually. Now then, Spyro Circuit. It's Spyro themed, so you'd think I'd absolutely love it. but I have a love-hate relationship where sometimes I can have a good fun race on here, and other times I just hate my experience. It's a very tight track which can be a problem, and of course the wizards that fire across the track are so frustrating. And then you got teleporters where of course people can put nitro on the other end. So I'd say it's actually not really for me. I mean, this track can sometimes go maybe as high as good, but from my recent experiences, I'd say it's no longer for me. I've fallen out of love of Spyro Circuit. I'm sorry. I do love Spyro. I just wish there was a really good Spyro-themed circuit. Time for controversial classic. This is your controversial warning. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's the controversial warning. I know a lot of people like this track. I don't. I do not like Thunderstruck at all. From the moment I've started playing this game, it's always been near the bottom for me. I've never liked it. It's just an absolutely awful experience. You get the swinging maces flying all over the place, you get spun out, you fly off the track. And of course, when the game was first launched, it was completely broken where people could use massive cheating shortcuts, making the online experience absolutely awful. So yeah, I've just never liked this track, and I'm probably never going to change my opinion on it. I know it's a really challenging circuit, and probably when you master it, it can be fun. But yeah, it's not for me at all. I just don't like it. Now then, Tiger Temple, which has quite a unique shortcut in that you need to use a weapon to open up the shortcut, which can make for very good races. Because there has been times where I've been in second place, they use the bomb on the shortcut because the lead has gone both without using the shortcut, so I then can take over the lead. And again, the rain theming, the storm, and the thunder and lightning is very nice. I do love rain. I do love rain. I don't know why, but I love sleeping with the rain outside. So, yeah, it's good. It's nothing amazing, but again, after all that praise, like, oh, it's absolutely amazing. I love it. Everything about it's really good. No, just put it in good. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit too short to be in amazing. Having said that, I put Monsieur Gorge in there. That's a very short track. It's not my fault I'm a hypocrite. Don't shout at me. A track that is very long, though, is Tiny Arena. And maybe just a little bit too long. Unlike Electron Avenue, I find the theming to be a little bit boring. It's just mud, jumps, more jumps, tight turns, more jump, more mud. And yeah, it can get a little bit dull doing it over and over again, but I'd say it's alright. You know what? I might put it in good, actually. I'll tell you what I'm putting in good. The Whimper coin bonus. You get a lot of coins for doing this track online, so that's going up to good. Another tiny themed track here, Tiny Temple. Again, when the game first came out, I didn't think too much about this track, but once you learn to keep Blue Flame, it is such a fun track to play on. I would even go so far as to, where have I put it? What's going on? Elements, Where did I put Tiny Temple? I've lost it. I put it in hate by mistake. Well, this has all gone horribly wrong. No, Tiny Temple is amazing. I am not sure what I just accidentally clicked on, but yes, Tiny Temple is amazing. Now then, the rest of the tracks are the bonus tracks that were introduced in the Grand Prix. For some reason, Spyro Circuit was separate from them, not entirely sure why. Now then, of course, the first GP track, Twilight Tour. Again, it's never been one of my favourites, but I would go so far as to say I like it more than Spyro Circuit now, so I would put it in alright. The only problem is it's a bit bland with the theming, and the night to day doesn't really work for me. But I do find myself having good online races around the track, especially with the Blue Flame. Now then, the Halloween themed track, Nina's Nightmare. I would go so far as to say I like Nina's Nightmare. It's a good solid track. Now then, Koala Carnival. I know a lot of people don't like this track, so it's going to be quite controversial that I'm actually going to put it in good. The only problem is it's a bit too short. If it's longer and maybe had a little bit more variation with the corners, because in the end it is mostly just an oval, but I always have fun playing this one online, so it is a good track and fun to play. A track that is not a good track and is not fun to play is Gingerbread Joyride. I wouldn't go so far as say hate, but it's not for me. I can see why people might like this track, but I don't really have a fun experience with this at all. And again, it's mostly because I'm not very good at it. Oh, and the jellies. The jellies make it not for me. Jellies, not for me. Now then, only 2 more tracks. I can imagine this is going to be a very long video, so thank you everyone for sticking with me so far. Hopefully I've not put all your favourite tracks in hate. But yes, Mega Mix Mania. When it first came out, I was not a big fan, but it has grown on me, so I would go so far as to say it's good. It's probably got one of the best themings in the entire game. The only problem is the actual layout of the track does let it down a little bit. I don't really like the shortcut, and I don't like the fact there's little mines all over the track. And when the game first came out, that was a lot more annoying because I'd be hitting them quite often. Now I do tend to avoid them, but they're still just a frustrating and unnecessary inclusion of the track. Now then, the last track, and the last track to be introduced into the game, Drive Through Danger. I would say Drive Through Danger is alright. The theming's a bit boring, but then it is space themed, so you couldn't really do too much. I love the fact that there are battles going on along while you're racing. It's just a track that I just have a frustrating time playing, again, mostly because of my ability not being that good. I fly off the circuit, and I know a lot of my friends don't like this track at all, but I would go so far as to say it's alright. So there we go. Is that going to be my final ranking? I'm just going to have a quick look and see if I would change anything. You know what, having thought about it, I'm willing to put Clockwork Whimper up to amazing. And I think that will be the only change I make. I'm very happy with this ranking. So again, let me know what your favourite tracks are in the game, what your least favourite tracks are in the game, and what you agree or disagree with. Feel free to let me know. But for now, take care and leave me alone.